Hey everybody, Mike with Games Play Badly, and today on Session 0 we have the creative force behind Clock and Chain. They produce amazing jewelry based out of chainmail. It was a really interesting interview and I had such a great time. They were just very educational as far as how they make the pieces that we know and love. And actually, if you watch until the end of the video, there is an actual demonstration of how they create all those chainmail pieces, and it looks like it is very labor intensive. Chainmail is one of my favorite things. I love when people do it, and I find it actually very relaxing to watch somebody create something like that. Also, I do have my shirt on. This is from Dungeon Glitch, and Gemmed Firefly right here is where you can find one, or any of the other shirts you've seen me wear, or shirts that you haven't seen me wear that are still amazing. They also do some flags up there too, so if you're interested in any of that, go to gemmedfirefly.com and put in our code BADLY15 for 15% off your order. We don't make anything off that. It's not for us. It is strictly for you. And I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but most, if not all, of their proceeds from Gemmed Firefly actually go to various charities. So it's not like Matt's out there trying to make $1 million. He's doing this as a labor of love, and he is donating that back to charity. So don't buy them or use our code because you think we're getting something from it. We're not. But this is all going to charity, or most of it is going to charity. And by all means, go to their website and order as much as humanly possible. I know I have. Either way, I cannot wait to get started. That interview starts now. Oh yeah, before we get started with the interview, remember to like and subscribe. Subscriptions don't cost anything. And I'm not going to spam you with anything, but it's going to help our channel. So click that little subscribe button down there. The red one, it's over here somewhere. I don't know. I'm dyslexic, so click it. Heather, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's sunny but cold out here right now.
Yeah, it was sunny but cold, and now it's cold and cloudy here. I love your
Mm.
mask. Where'd you get it?
I got it from prideflags.com.
Oh, very cool. I like that. I'm gonna have to order one.
They,
Actually, do they sell the
yeah,
flag
they
version
donate.
of that?
They said they have a bunch of different ones, and they donate some of their profits to the Trevor Project.
Awesome. So your jewelry is amazing. I stumbled upon it because you posted something, and I went to your site and I fell in love with it, and I immediately ordered something. And that is also when I sent you a message that I must have you on the show because people must know about your stuff.
Oh, I'm very flattered.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So how did you, first of all, when did you start jewelry making?
Ooh, okay. So I've always been really crafty and I like tinkering with things. Very fidgety hands with the autism, the ADHD, you know. And jewelry is a very shiny, fun outlet for that. So I started playing with jewelry scraps and tinkering them together. And then when I entered college, I met someone who made chainmail. And I didn't know that was a thing until then. And I bought some wire and I spooled it up and hand cut some rings. And that's how that part of it started. I actually have one of my first pieces on me right now. This is, let me see if I can get the camera to autofocus here. It's a very small stainless steel wire that I hand snipped into.
Oh, wow.
Micromail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry the camera isn't adjusting correctly.
That's okay. Sometimes when you get too close to it, it just can't auto-adjust. It happens. But, yeah, I mean, at that type, I've always been fascinated by people who actually make chainmail because it's such a labor-intensive love, you know?
Yeah, it really can be. It's knitting with wire.
Mm-hmm. How long does it take you to make a typical piece? Like, so for instance, the piece that you have there probably took you a little bit longer to make, so you were just starting. But nowadays, if you're going to make that, how long that would take you to make it?
I'm really bad at estimating time and I am super distractible. So I honestly don't fully know how long it takes to make any specific thing, but I try my best to estimate. And a ring like this one would probably maybe take like an hour.
Wow.
I'm not totally certain.
That's quick.
That's not counting the ring cutting for this particular one because I hand cut it. But when you have all the pre-made rings, that makes it go faster.
Very good. So there are some pieces that you're doing that are very steampunky, and I really like those. Like the one around your neck is fantastic.
Oh yeah. This one started as a piece I got at a Ren fair, but then it fell to bits on me. So when I remade it, I gave it my own design, and I really like how it came out. This is actually a spinning bearing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
I plan to try to get more steampunk stuff into the shop in the future. I just know that steampunk's maybe a smaller market than the tabletop market and the Pride market. So I'm aiming for those first.
Right. I think that's a smart idea. Well, and also, I mean, I think it appeals to a broader base because one of the things, like the logo above you right now, is that heart necklace with the gears in it. And
Yeah, I actually grabbed that.
I
here.
love that. I think it's just fascinating.
Yeah, this one maybe took like 2 hours or so. Little bit longer to make that one because of some of the positioning and trickiness involved with making the shape and all that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some engineering involved there.
Yeah, trial and error.
Right. So, how are the hands? Calloused?
Right now, I'm not really that calloused. I've got like a tiny one on the inside of my pinky, but I'm managing to dodge the worst of callousing right now.
Do you wear gloves when you do this to kind of keep your...
No.
Oh, wow.
When I first started and I did stainless steel for the first time and my hands really hurt. So I actually wore padded weightlifter gloves, the fingerless padded gloves. But I don't actually need them anymore. My hands got a little stronger with the chainmailing, and I also started sword fighting, and all of that just got a lot better.
Oh, that's very interesting. So your site is... So a Clock and Chain, is that a newer development for you?
That is a newer one. I started it at the end of last year. I think I put the Squarespace up in October.
Okay.
Or the end of October, something like that.
Yeah, and for those people who haven't checked out the website in the beginning, check it out now because there's a whole bunch more stuff up there.
Yeah, and I'm constantly trying to add new things to the store. And there's also the custom stuff that I can make that even if it's not listed, I can absolutely whip something up.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I have no talent when it comes to that. I can miniature paint a little bit, but like
mini painting is so fun.
I have a good time with it. I just haven't really haven't had time to do. I started her, and she's fun. It's like a pixie.
Oh, that's a big and beautiful.
Yeah,
Big.
She'll be amazing. Everyone else is painting her like a pixie. I'm painting her like she's had a really bad day.
I've got some minifigs that I've been meaning to get around to painting. Like I've got a half constructed dragon that came in multiple pieces, so I've had to glue it back together. And I'm doing some custom sculpting on it because I didn't entirely like the mold, and it's a whole affair there. I'm probably not going to sell that one because it's taking me so long.
That's right. You do have miniatures up on your site.
I do. They're not my primary focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not my primary focus, but I really love painting minis. And turns out I'm really good at doing the faces. There's a couple pictures on my Twitter of this one fig that is a standard medium-sized fig, and she's got normal-sized eyes and mouth and eyebrows all painted on there.
Yeah, that's tough. I know. There's actually well, I don't have it with me, but I cheat when I do eyes. I actually use like zero point 0.5 nanometer marker. So I'll paint the
I used
eyeballs and I'll just kind of draw them in.
I used a needle tip and dipped that in the red paint I wanted for her eyes.
I've done that before too.
Carefully.
It never works out for me though. I always end up making a mess.
I had a rough time with the one that I did for my friend's daughter. The eyes did not want to cooperate on that one.
No, no. They're the hardest thing. That's the reason I kind of like using the bus, because the busts are much larger scale and I can really work on some shading techniques and things like that. I used to do all the 28, 32 millimeter figurines, but now that I got my 3D printer, I print out all the busts that I can find and I just paint those.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoy the challenge of tiny, and in fact, I'm gonna plan to make more micromail type jewelries in my store in the future because micromail's absolutely fun.
You're very talented at everything you do. It sounds like you make jewelry, you can paint minis. What else do you do?
Oh man. I did pottery in high school. That was a blast, and I wish I could get back into it, but that requires like a whole studio type environment that I don't have. General metal smithing is really fun, like the silversmithing and stuff. I've also done woodworking, and I have done a little bit of painting and drawing, but two-dimensional media has never really been my forte.
Right.
Oh, I don't know how much this counts for creativity, but I also just like fixing things. I like taking things apart and fixing them, do it yourself. I actually took 2 broken PlayStations and made 1 working PlayStation 2 out of them.
That's fantastic. I'm not. I'm more of a breaky kind of guy, not the fixy kind of guy.
Yeah, and I've been learning a lot since I moved in with my boyfriend, who is an expert at programming and computer repair. And
Nice.
That's been a blast. I briefly mentioned the sword fighting. That
Right.
was a really fun introduction to the world of Ren fairs for me. It's also where I met my current boyfriend. We stabbed each other, and it was love at first stab.
I love it. First
Not
blood.
literally, though. We actually didn't get together until years later.
I own swords. I've just never used one.
Oh, it's a blast. You should look up local HEMA clubs.
Maybe I will.
There's a picture on my Twitter of a mermaid tail that I have. I have a couple of them, and swimming with the mermaid tail on is an absolute blast, and I would love to incorporate mermaid work into my brand in the future. Maybe
that'd be
even
cool.
join one of those companies where you hire a mermaid.
Oh my goodness, you have so many things on your plate.
I know.
Well, that's kind of like
Keeps life
me.
interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like me. I can't paint just 1 miniature at a time. I have to paint 3 because I get bored really easy with things. So, and then it gets really confusing. I start using the wrong paints on the wrong miniatures, and then it's just kind of a mess. So,
Crossed wires.
so what's the process of making one of your pieces entail?
Usually it starts with there's a couple different places to start. One place to start is to have an idea and to find the materials to execute it. And that's how a lot of the ideas end up happening. Like one that was a particular flashbulb moment was the bracelet you purchased was inspired by seeing the autism what is that? ASAN? Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. I just blanked on the name for some reason. I haven't finished the replacement bracelet for the stock yet, but I do have the necklace here that matches it.
Nice.
And the swirling Mobius was really, I saw that logo and I'm like, you know what? I want to make autistic pride jewelry. And that's a perfect place to start because the Mobius is a perfect way to represent that logo.
That's very cool.
And so yeah, I looked. I actually happened to already have some rings on hand that worked for it, and it came out really well.
Yeah,
And then
Sean loves
another,
it. Sean, I
yeah,
mean, my husband,
yeah.
who I bought it for, actually really he loves it. I tried to get. It's a little too small for my wrist. You
Oh,
actually
I can
told me.
make you a longer one.
Oh yeah, you told me if it's too small, you'll modify it for me, which I really appreciate. But I really bought it for him, but I wanted to try and put it on. And I have a big fat wrist, so I couldn't wear it. But so yeah, you have the idea and you find the materials to execute it. From the standpoint of the actual chain making, that seems like it'd be pretty labor intensive, or is it pretty easy for you now?
Um, it really depends. Whenever I have to learn a new weave to do something that takes a bit more labor, like learning how to make the heart shape was definitely a learning process. I had never made a heart before, although I did already know how to make the weave used as the base for it, so that helped a lot. The other direction that the creativity goes sometimes is you have a material and you get inspired by it to do something. So I had started, the very first thing I made for my store's stock was some Chessex 12 millimeter D6 earrings.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking at my stockpile of D6s and I was realizing that I could use them to do this necklace of Fireball. And that was the materials inspiring the process on that one. So I put that together, and so you can pop out all 8 of them and roll them on the table for your Fireball.
And then just pop them right back in.
Yeah,
It's a very fancy dice bag.
It's a spell specific one.
Absolutely.
And then I'm planning to make the other damage types. I have some really nice D6s that I can use to do the ice. I can do necrotic. I can do force. I can do radiant. I just have to actually finish doing it.
Right. Well, and I would imagine some of that will be you make it when somebody orders it, just because it's very specific.
Yeah, for what I'm planning is I'm going to have the first one for each the photo piece. I have to have something to photograph, and then the orders can be made to order in the future.
Very good. Yeah, good old Chessex dice. You got to love those.
They've gotten really good lately. They upped their game, and I'm really glad that they did.
They've been around since I've been playing D&D for 30 years. That was one of the first sets of dice I ever bought. I still have them. I'm not a big dice goblin myself. Like I don't hoard dice. I do like a nice set of dice, but I only have probably 4 or 5.
I've got a few more than that.
Well, I mean, is there anything upcoming that you wanna promote, or I know Pride Month is coming up, and you're gonna start trying to do some more Pride stuff.
Yeah. So a friend requested that I make some kind of small keychain or bookmark for them. So I started thinking, and I realized that I could use that heart design and shrink it with some micromail. I haven't finished the prototype yet, but this is me starting on the first one. There will be a full lineup of all the colors because I've got a lot of colors in this ring size right now. But yeah, I'll make a bunch of pride hearts that can be cute little necklaces, earrings, keychains.
Awesome.
Recent prototyping that finished was the Fidget Keychains, because this month I was trying to do a bunch of autism stuff.
Nice.
And these steel Fidget Keychains are really fun. And like this one is so weird. It clicks back and forth when you squeeze it, and it's like a squeeze stem. You snap it back and forth, and each one has its own experience. Like I like to pick at the Byzantine with my fingertips like this, and I eventually will get the fidget bracelets in as well. But I was starting with the keychains because those are really easy to roll out.
Yeah, and not to mention, I would imagine they're going to be super popular because they're so small.
Yeah, the small convenience, you can carry them anywhere, and makes the price a little bit lower because the steel is a premium material and takes longer to make because it's so hard to bend.
No. And do you bend all this stuff by hand, or do you have a machine that helps you
Yeah,
all?
no
Wow.
machine.
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't have, you think me, beard, hand strength? No. If I have to hold on to anything for a long period of time, I'm doomed.
So yeah, oh yeah, and the other thing that's coming out is I finally have the materials to finish making a bunch of D20 earrings. So I will make a whole swatch of those and put them up in my store, and then have a custom listing as well for Custom Pride.
Very good. I mean, well, if somebody has dice that they want to send you to make stuff with, can you do that for them?
Uh, Hypothetically, yeah, we could do that. Although if it's a standard sized D20, then I can. It's pretty much going to fit because I've got a couple different brands of standard D20 that I can sample into things.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious because, I mean, there are some people who, this is a die that I rolled when we got married, and so therefore, I mean, everyone has a reason, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If someone wanted something, and it no matter what the size, I would try to figure out something to do with it.
Well, very cool.
Yeah, and actually, I am working on a custom project for someone in that line right now. There's an Instagram dice artist who makes liquid core dice that are really cool, and he wanted me to make a necklace for one of his dice, and in exchange, I'll get one of the D20s.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Totally worth it. You have new stuff coming out. You're looking to do some pride stuff. That's cool. You showed me your fireball necklace. That looks amazing. And you have more stuff going up on your website on a regular basis. So everybody who's watching right now, I'm going to link the website. Check it frequently because there's going to be new stuff up there, and you don't want to miss out. If anyone wants to get in contact with you, the website's the best way, right?
Yeah, my website has a contact page that lists all my social media handles and my email. Any channel, honestly, I will get back to you pretty quickly. I'm pretty ADHD glued to my phone,
Yeah, I totally understand that. And on top of that, you also sell gift cards, which I used in one of my giveaways. And
of
that
course, and I offer holds.
Yes, there we go. So if you want something, now's the time to get it anyway, because birthdays are coming up. There are a lot of June babies out there, right? Pride gifts,
I think the prime birthday season is the fall because everyone gets horny at Christmas and Valentine's and New Year's.
Right. Christmas babies is what we call them.
Yeah.
But it was really great getting a chance to talk to you, and I can't wait to see more of your items. I love your stuff. I'm going to order something for myself eventually. I just got to figure out what it is. I'm not sure yet. I don't normally wear jewelry. I mean, I wear my wedding ring, and I don't really wear jewelry that much. But
you
a
can
bracelet.
work on a keychain.
Oh, keychain might work. Yeah, that'd actually be a good idea. Maybe I'll order one of those. Well, you'll see my order come through anyway.
I grabbed some pliers to be at the ready if you
Perfect.
guys were really that interested. Yeah, I actually have started right here the beginnings of another one of those bracelets to replace the one that was bought. So yeah, you wanted to see that?
Yeah, just give me a couple links just so we get an idea of what it takes.
Yeah. Okay.
I love your top too.
My what?
Your vest.
Oh yeah, this is a thrift store. I love shopping at thrift stores.
Me too.
The shirt and the vest are thrifted.
Wonderful.
So I figured it would be fun to show you guys how to make a Mobius because it's a pretty simple and fun little unit. One repeatable portion of a chainmail pattern, I believe, is generally called a unit. I could be wrong on that, though.
Well, for you, it's called a unit. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. So that's all the colors for this Mobius. And I have a couple spares in case I whiff. It is really easy to slip and damage a ring. Okay, so first you gotta, just like that. So I did that. I'm all nervous and sweaty.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally understand.
It's all warm in the basement right now. Okay, let me do that a little more carefully and slowly. Not trying to be so avant-garde with it. See, that's where some of the time goes, is making sure that you don't have those whiffs. The faster you go, the more likely you are to have a bunch of them, and that damages your supply. So you start with one closed ring, and then you put another ring through it. So at first it doesn't look like much. No chainmail weave ever really looks like much when you first start, because you usually just start with 2 rings connected. It's usually when you add the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rings that it starts to actually take shape. So, oh good, I don't think I damaged this one. Okay. Yeah, I make sure I polish my pliers so that when I do slip, it is less likely to damage any of the coatings. So you take this first 2 pieces, and it doesn't particularly matter. You kind of just put this 3rd ring through both of them, and you can kind of see this overlapping shape starting to take form. And once you've got 3 of them, you have to pay a little bit more attention to the direction they're all laying, because if you would have one flipped the other way, that might mess with the Mobius. So then you take another ring and you stick it through all 3 of the previous. Make sure they're all facing the right way.
Okay.
And it gets all swirly because they're all interconnected, just like a Mobius strip. Take the next one. Make sure they're all facing the right way. The more Mobius rings you get going, the harder it is to feed the next ones through, because you got to get the opening around all of the previous rings, and it starts getting all chunky in there. Then sometimes the rings twist a little bit as you open and close them, so I always like to check that they're nice and flat. It's an extra little step I do. I don't like the idea of just doing it as fast as you can, because part of the point of a handmade product is for it to be good,
right,
and quality. Everyone wishes everything was cheaper, but
you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And it's really sad that in this modern era, there are so many people who aren't being paid enough to afford stuff.
Right, I agree.
But I have to be paid enough to afford stuff too, so I have to pay myself what I've earned.
That is exactly right. As a matter of fact, it is the cardinal rule that you charge what it takes for you to make something. You know.
So now I have a rainbow unit, and in order to actually put it into the design, I actually need to add a couple more rings into it. There we go. So when it's done, it'll be 7 rings in the middle, but you actually have to put 9 into the Mobius ball to make that work. I've got like 3 different sets of pliers I alternate between depending on what I need.
Mm-hmm.
This set is probably the most camera ready. One of my other plier sets is got flaking paint on it, and then another one is industrial strength Master Force pliers. Not exactly the prettiest boys.
You make it look so easy.
Aluminum is pretty easy. Although part of this is hand strength. The thicker a gauge is the diameter of the wire.
Mm-hmm.
The thicker the gauge, the harder it is to bend, of course.
Mm-hmm.
These ones are slightly hard to bend, but it doesn't start getting really hard to bend aluminum until the next gauge is up from this. This last one is being tricky. There's so many rings. Gotta thread it in and out and around all the rings. But that's really the only hard part about a Mobius ball. I plan to learn how to make a neat weave called Moorish Rose that's taking Mobius balls and turning it into a sheet.
I'm sorry, what, repeat that?
There's a weave called Moorish Rose that is Mobius balls in a flat sheet.
Oh,
They're
wow.
all interconnected with each other in a sheet, and it looks really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn how to make some of those, and then I can make some like pendants and necklaces out of it.
Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. Look at that.
Yeah. And then it will get connected onto the bracelet.
Well, I appreciate you showing me that. When we talked, I had mentioned it, but I didn't want to force you into it if you weren't ready. But I'm glad you did, because I really am interested to see how people do things like that.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to do more videos like that in the future too. I haven't. At some point, I should figure out how to do my own YouTube stream of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. If you need help, contact me. I can help you. Yeah. Or there are a million streamers out there who are probably better at it than I am. But you know what? What's interesting is the process of watching you go through that and talk. I'm not sure if you're familiar with ASMR.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
It's very relaxing to watch somebody work on something like that. So that could be a whole other stream for you.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a few chainmail video artists out there that do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I appreciate you showing. Thank you so much. I did not expect that, so that's fantastic. I don't want this to be our only contact. Let's get together again maybe for Pride Month. We'll show off some of your stuff.
Yeah, maybe Pride Month I will. Do a bunch of stuff for that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, either way, I think you're fantastic. I love your stuff. I'll promote the hell out of it. Whatever you need from me, you let me know. And I
can't thank you enough.
Yeah, no, it's my absolute pleasure. I can't thank you enough for sharing that with us and coming on the show today and talking with me. And it's been awesome. I wish you all the best of luck.
Oh, one more small preview. I'm planning to acquire materials to make more of these. I really love how they came out. Jingle earrings, little belly dancer coin, and then you put something else on top of it.
That's wonderful.
And then every time your head moves, you get a little jingle. It's so stimmy. I love it.
Well, my cousin is a belly dancer, so as soon as you pulled it out, I was like, maybe I'll get some for her.
Yeah, I'm planning to get some kind of bulk batch of little charms that like little mermaids and stuff you can put on the front of these to get the jingle sound.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's something to look forward to. And again, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk soon, I hope.